What's up, everybody? Justin here. Hope you're doing great. Want to quickly address a question that has come up a couple times recently, and I've been asked this question, physicians interested in hearing about investments and investment returns, and what's the best way to build wealth as a young physician? And this is a question I want to address, but I think it's important to reframe it a little bit. So instead of thinking about what kind of investment return should I expect, and how can I be invested in order to make sure that I make as much money as I can reasonably expect, let's reframe it and think about what are the key components of building wealth over time. And I would argue that investments are actually kind of far down the list, especially for a young physician. So I think of it more like this. There's an opportunity at the beginning of your career especially to establish a high income, meaning when you sign a new contract, when you're negotiating, when you're understanding the mechanisms for compensation in your practice. How do you grow your income? Are there outside business opportunities? Are there ways to make your practice more efficient? Are there ways to just have more money coming in the door? Because the more money you have coming in the door, this is the foundation for being able to have money to invest, obviously. Secondly, after you're making good money, how do you keep that money? And that's the net cash flow sliver here in the middle of the pyramid. How do you make sure that all the money isn't flying back out on your credit card statement every month, but that it's staying in-house in a checking, savings, brokerage account to be able to invest? And only after you've managed to dial in number one and number two, only then does number three become relevant. So be careful not to put the cart before the horse with the investment conversation. I want to give a brief illustration just to show how much at the outset, in an early career situation for a physician, investment returns just are not the key driver for success. So first, I want to look at doctor number one here. Doctor number one is saving 6% a year on their salary. They've got an income of $350K, 6% they're saving, inflation is 2%, and they're earning 8% a year, which is a pretty good rate of return on their investments, right? 8% is a very high annualized rate for a diversified portfolio. At this rate, with this good, healthy investment return, it's going to take them about 12 years to save 1 times their salary, meaning if they start at age 31, they're going to be 43 years old before they have the amount of money that they make in a year in the bank in their name or in an investment account. So that's at the 6% savings rate. Contrast that with physician number two, who's going to be a more diligent saver. They're a 15% per year savings rate, $350K, same salary. For an anesthesiologist, 2% inflation, so it's growing a little bit over time. And look at this. They literally don't care about their investment return. They're going to somewhere like Ally Bank, high yield savings account, growing it at 2.2% per year, which is very, very low, barely keeping up with inflation, if at all. You might think, 2% a year, that's so little on the investment return. Clearly, they're not going to be able to build wealth very well at that rate. But look what happens. The time that it's going to take them to have 1 times their salary in the bank, 6.5 years, almost half of what the physician who's only saving 6%. So somebody who starts at 31, they're going to be 37 and a half, and they're going to have that same amount that they make per year in the bank with their name on it. So to give you the big picture here, if we look at the 12-year time frame, physician number one, after 12 years, is going to have about $437K in the bank with a 6% savings rate. Physician number two, look at that, $791, almost double. So it's clear that the most important number on this entire card here is this, savings rate. The main driver for building wealth for a young physician is how much can you make and how much of what you make can you keep. So that's my tip for today. Hope everybody has a great day.